Alright guys, welcome back to the whiteboard game of the Kiwi, going into round 4. Before we do that, we've got to recap round 3 though. As you can see, we did pretty well. Our Brokeman's Spitty, with a $79 kitty, that cashed for us again. We got another 4.2 units out of that, or $42 out of that, with the Cowboys there hitting. Close game though. Oh, scary game. Very scary at the start. I was devastated, but Cowboys pulled it back. Good win. Obviously, Panthers cash for us. Sharks failed that one. We lost our safety parlay. Dog of the week, Eels. The ref stole that one from us. That's another loss. But luckily, our money parlay, Warriors and the Roosters, also cash for us. So we hit 2 out of 4, but we got the 2 big pays, and that pulled us through with a 1.4 unit profit for the week, up to 6.3 for the year. Our Brokeman 50 continues to hit. It's hit every week. Let's see if we can continue that on to this week, although I don't believe we have a Brokeman's 50 bet this week. We're just holding on to the kitty. It's at it's around $90 at the moment, so we're just going to hold on to that, wait for next week, wait for some easier spots to open up. We don't have to bet every single week, guys, and we're not going to. First game up is Roosters vs Panthers, the heavyweights here, the second best team versus the reigning champions, number 1 contenders versus the champion. Both teams coming off big wins last week. Roosters have a couple of ins. They've won out. The big story, obviously, is Nathan Cleary's out. And the odds are just crazy. The Panthers are paying like over $2. They're the underdogs for this game. Right? I'll say it. The Panthers are the underdogs for this game. Look, I don't care if Nathan Cleary's out. I know he's the best player in the league, right? I'd argue Dominic Young, but whatever. Nathan Cleary, the golden child. Doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter who the Panthers lose or how many superstars leave the Panthers. They're still the Panthers, and they still destroy everything. Even during State of Origin, when all their players go into the Origin, their team was still winning games. So I don't know why they're such the underdogs here. We should be tipping the Panthers, but we can't go against our Roosters. If you can ever get the Panthers for more than $2, take that bet. Take that bet. Every time. I'm not going to bet against the Roosters though, so I'm not taking that bet. We're going to ignore it. I'm not too sure why the Panthers are paying that much. It does scare me a little bit. I let the odds affect me. We're not taking that bet. Roosters at home as well. Roosters star-studded. And they probably will be looking, because if they can go hard and beat the Panthers now, it'll give them a lot of confidence later, with or without Nathan Cleary. But yeah, I just would not bet against the Panthers, and I'm not going to bet against the Roosters. Next up, we do have the Rabbits versus the Bulldogs here. The Rabbits obviously had that poor effort, led to an absolutely flogging, 48-6 defeat there to the Roosters last week. Complete opposite end of the spectrum here with the Bulldogs. Bulldogs smashed the Titans 32-0. There we go. So we've got the Rabbits, seem to be swan diving, crashing, burning. Bulldogs, I did say it would take to about round 4, which was just a guess. We made some money on the Bulldogs in the early rounds because I knew the team hadn't had time to gel together properly, and we cashed in on that. I said by round 4, the Bulldogs will start clicking and they will become a middle tier team. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see here. It's a changing of the guard. If we lived in a lollipop world, with the momentum coming into this game, the Bulldogs should beat the Rabbits. That's what I'm looking at. We will put a bet here on the Dogs. I think the Dogs are our dog of the week. We'll confirm that at the end of the video. But my tip, I'm going to just tip the referee here. I think this week we're all talking about the Eagles game and how the Eagles got ripped off. I believe there might be some controversy in this game. This will be the game to watch for the conspiracy theorist. Josh Adokar has been named. Whether or not he'll actually make it to the starting squad is uncertain. We'll have to see how his injuries go. The Rabbits do have a 100th NRL game going on, so they've got a little bit of celebration there. They are at home, so there's a few things stacking up in favour here for the Rabbits. They will be desperate, and I'm just not sure the NRL will let them crash and burn 4 straight games in a row. They might step in here. There might be a few dodgy calls, and they might try and help the Rabbits get their first win. That's my tip. I'm going for the Bulldogs. Officially tipping the Bulldogs, but Yeah, look out for the ref on this one. Like I said, if it was a lollipop world, if everything was normal and good and there was no corruption, I'd say the Bulldogs would win this one, and it'll be definitely worth taking the bet on the Bulldogs. We will bet on the Bulldogs because I have to think that way, but I feel we're betting against the NRL here. Next up, we have Broncos Cowboys. This should be a absolutely fantastic game. Too close to call. I would not recommend betting on this game either. Broncos won both games against the Cowboys last year. The big news is obviously Reece Walsh was going to be out, but Saylor coming in, and Saylor's so good that the loss of Reece Walsh is almost nullified. Now, Saylor is not a big playmaker like Reece Walsh is, but he's very safe. He's very consistent. He's not going to make the big plays, but he's not going to drop the ball as much either. He's a very solid player, and if I was the Broncos, I'd have him as fullback all the time, and I'd move Reece Walsh up to number 3 or number 6 or something. Reece Walsh is a playmaker. He should be in the line. Anyway. Adam Reynolds is also back, so that again, the Broncos, they've got a good team. They do have one over out. Cowboys have one in. Cowboys also have a 100th game going on as well. It is at Broncos home though, but it is a Queensland derby. Yeah, it's going to be a close one. It's going to be hard. I am going to tip the Cowboys here. I don't even know why. It's going to be such a 50-50 game. We'll just hope the Cowboys can get it done. They've been looking good. And enough said. Next up, we do have our poor ripped-off Eagles here against St. George. So we've got the Eagles robbed last week versus the worst luck ref Dragons. Week in and week out, the Dragons always seem to get the worst rub of the 50-50 calls. The Dragons did have a good start last week. I think it was 18-4 actually. Fact check myself there. So it's not like they had a complete garbage week. They done good. They just, I don't know, the Cowboys came back. I think the Eagles will do the same thing. I think the Eagles are just on another level above the Dragons. Obviously, Dragons are a bottom tier team, and I believe the Eagles are a top mid team. And I just feel, they've had, there it is right there. The Eagles have had the more impressive wins this season. The Dragons do have a lot of people coming in. No real changes here for the Eagles. Ruben will be looking to get his 1,000 points, and the Dragons have just conceded so many points in the past 2 games. We'll be definitely tipping the Eagles, and probably be betting on them too. Bets at the end of the video. Titans Dolphins. Obviously, Titans got flogged. Dolphins had the bye. They're coming fresh in, but they did also have a 38 loss versus the Dragons their last game as well. So both teams, bottom of the table clash. Both teams are looking garbage. I would not recommend putting any money on either of these teams, except for the fact that Tino is also now out. So the Titans are missing both of their big dudes. We'll have to see if David actually gets to play or not. He's still question marked. So just the fact of that and the price tag on the Dolphins, we're going to sprinkle a little bit here on the Dolphins, but we're tipping the Dolphins. Low confidence on this one. Warriors versus Knights. Again, this game's just going to be too close. It's such a hard round. All these games, it's going to be too close to call. You can't bet on either of these. We're going to, Warriors at home, Warriors out the boys. We're going to bet on tip the Warriors, obviously. A lot of stuff happening in here. We're up to our 3rd choice fullback, because we just lost another fullback. So it's not looking great. But we'll see how they do. We'll see how we do. Sharks Raiders, again, just too close to really call. We will be tipping the Raiders here. I do feel they're more consistent and the more dangerous team. Obviously, the Sharks do have the ability to beat the Raiders, but the Raiders will come out and put in a similar effort and a similar result every week in and week out. Sharks are hot cold. I'm not risking my money on a hot cold team. We will bet against them. Look at all these outs they have. Raiders should be good to go. Last Monday, which I love. I wish we should have a Monday game every week. Eels versus Tigers. 1 out, 1 in. Tigers got an out. Obviously, tipping the Eels. The Tigers, when the Tigers look good, they look absolutely fantastic. It's just a pity they don't look that good that often. Same thing sort of with the Sharks, hot cold, but they are cold a lot more than they are hot, and I just feel that was a flash in the pan. And no bet on this game though. We're not going to bet on it, but I feel that was the big celebration of Tigers fans for the next 4 or 5 rounds at least. If they can put two wins in a row together, then we'll start taking them more seriously. But until then, we're gonna fade the Tigers there. So rounding up the week, all up, you can see here the Panthers paying $2.30. That's just crazy. Jump on that, guys. Like I said, I'm not gonna jump on it though because Roosters are my team, and I'm not gonna cheer against my own team. But we'll probably never see that. That might be the best odds you can ever get on the Panthers all season. Unless they play some crazy games during Origin time, I'm not sure, but that's crazy. Also here we've got the Bulldogs paying $2.55, so we're going to jump on that. So our dog of the week is the Raiders. I feel $2.45, and I think the Raiders are going to beat the Sharks. So if we can get those odds, we'll definitely go on that. Raiders, dog. I can't believe they're paying so much. I mean, yeah, Sharks, too much hot cold. Raiders, solid. We're going to go with them. Also, the Bulldogs are our second tier dog of the week as well. We're going in on the Dogs. I just didn't know if I wanted to make that an official bet or not because, like I said, I feel we're betting against the NRL. And it all comes down to whether or not the NRL and the referees are going to let their star player, Matrell, crash and burn like that. And I got a feeling they might. Because he's been doing a few things to upset them lately. So they may just take the shield off him and let him burn. Our value bet here is on the Cowboys. I think they have a decent chance here against the Broncos. It's probably a silly bet betting against the Broncos at home, but it is a Cowboys Queensland Derby. So it kind of nullifies the home field advantage there for the Broncos a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. Cowboys just been impressing me lately, so we're going to go with them. Wish me luck on that one. Our poor man's 50. We're just going to keep it. The kitty's at $92. We're just going to hold on to that for next week. We do have a safety parlay, though. I did not have a safety parlay. You can see here, no safety parlay was written down. Last night, I watched Bunny Bet's video, and he convinced me. And so we're going to do a Saturday safety parlay here of the Eagles and the Dolphins. I'm really confident on the Eagles will beat the Dragons, but at $1.34, they weren't really worth betting on by themselves. I wouldn't touch the Dolphins versus Titans. It's a bottom of the table clash. I don't want to put my money in the hands of one of the bottom teams. But he convinced me here. So we're putting the safety parlay there on the Eagles and the Dolphins. So that's a total of 4 bets here for us. Let's get rid of that because we're not taking that bet. So we're 4 units down. All head-to-head games. We didn't do anything funny yet. We've taken nothing but head-to-head bets so far this season. Keeping it real nice and simple for you guys. That's it. Wish me luck. I wish you luck. I hope everyone enjoys the game more than anything else. Hope you enjoy it. Hope the players enjoy it. Hope everyone gets home safe. But I hope you'll make some money because it's not me versus anyone else. It's not you versus anyone else. It's all of us versus the bookies. We know the billion-dollar companies that are corrupt. We don't get fair odds. It's all of us versus them, so I wish you all the best of luck. And let's take some of this money off these big guys and give it to the little guys, eh? It's been Gambling Kiwi. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Love you all. Let me know your things. Let me know your thoughts, your picks, your bets, your whatever you're doing. I love hearing it. The more different opinions we can get in the comments, the better off the whole world will be for it. Love you all.